neighbor, just hold it up and someone will come get it. And Sherry Marston, where are you? She's at the back. So we all trust Sherry Marston. So if everybody will just make sure that that goes to her, and we'll get a report on that a little bit later. Amanda, you feeling better about your convention now? Right? So I'll tell you a little more about her in a minute, but Amanda is the district president for West Texas, and she's our speaker for this week. And so she said that she's been to a couple of other conventions, and they were a little more traditional than what she's used to. And so she said, I'm a little nervous about coming to your convention. And she said, I don't want to leave feeling bad. And I think, if a guy can show up and he's not prepared to receive an offering, surely you'll be okay at your convention. So I am so excited to introduce my friend Amanda Pettit. As I have had opportunity to visit with her, my heart has been stirred, but it's been more what I have watched on the outskirts, looking in to see what God does in and through her. I'm excited as she shares her story with you. And we had her at Cornerstone yesterday, so this isn't new news for her. And she already knew it because it was just a few weeks ago that I reached out to her. Again, had different things lined up and nothing was in place. And so I sent her that panic text, and she's like, hey, I'm there for you. And I believe with every fiber in me that it's exactly what was supposed to happen. I've been at peace about it the whole time. And when she said yes, all that, any anxiety or nerves that I was feeling about having a convention without a speaker kind of went away. Vanessa would ask me, she would message me, she'd say, so I'm working on the e-letter. Do you have a speaker? Well, not yet. You're getting kind of pushy. It's only March. But here we are. I told my congregation yesterday that I want to be like Amanda Pettit when I grow up. Her love for people is genuine. You will see that in what she shares with you today. And I want you to make my friend Amanda feel very welcome here in South Arkansas. She said, come on. She said she heard a little bit about it, but Sharice, where are you? You're going to be, you're good at leading this. She's not really fully familiar with the hog call. So can you come, so you can see this firsthand? Okay. So if you'll, so there you go.
to think that when it comes to mission, we have to live in the or. Did you know that you can give to Global Mission? You can give to World Evangelism Fund so that stories like I just shared, and you can live mission out right here in the United States. If you haven't noticed, America is becoming more and more and more isolated. How many of you have a cell phone in this room? You have a cell phone. How many of you have community on that cell phone? We have a lot of community. There is an entire generation that their community exists right there on that cell phone. Human trafficking doesn't happen when you go to Walmart and someone puts something on your windshield or your door handle. Human trafficking happens when a young woman, and even young boys have a vulnerability that traffickers play on. Every one of us in this room has a vulnerability. We can't help it. We're human. We're humanity. But people take advantage of that. And it is becoming more and more and more because we are more isolated. So with Rescue Hill, with human trafficking, it seems scary. It seems big. It seems like, how many of you watched the movie Taken? That's just not how it happens. Again, it is happening through force, fraud, coercion, and it's happening right through cell phones. And so when we started this journey of Rescue Hill, long legacy that we carry on, a long Nazarene legacy that we carry on, we saw it. And we were like, Lord, we need to do something about this. So as Rescue Hill was born and we started to work with women, started doing advocacy, and now we have a residential home. It's the craziest thing because most of them have some sort of a background in church. The church should have been the first line of defense in that vulnerability. And I know that that's hard of me to say, but that is the reality that in our lives as Christians, when we, and as Nazarenes, when we say we are a Christian people, we are a holiness people, we are a missional people, we can't trip over our holiness and not go to the places that we need to go, like to get them. And I'm not advocating sin. I'm not saying not woke. I'm not saying to enable someone to stay in their sin. Christ doesn't do that to us, so therefore we shouldn't do that. But oftentimes it's easier to say somebody else is going to do it, or, oh, I don't want to be seen over there, or what if someone sees me, or what if I bring her to church and she's not dressed appropriately, or what if I bring her to church and she doesn't look like me by tomorrow? Where's my brother in the room that's wearing a shirt that says recovery is a journey? Do we see him? He was walking around earlier. Thank you for wearing that. Recovery is a journey. But it's a journey that each of us should be willing to step into and live life with someone. The root of human trafficking is relational brokenness. It's brokenness with God. It's brokenness with self. It's brokenness with family. It's brokenness with society. And you know, the only way to heal relational brokenness is actually through relationship. So what if the church was the line of defense? What if the bus kids coming in to our churches? I don't know if any of you have a bus ministry. Anybody have a bus ministry? What if our food pantries, when grandmas bring in the kids in to get food, What if, as uncomfortable as it made us, we were willing to step into their lives and have a relationship with them, meet them literally where they're at, not in a space of judgment. Maybe we talk about their circumstance and release them from the shame that they feel. Maybe not come at them as if we are the church. I am an ordained elder. But when I do a crisis call, I never lead with that. Because again, they've had some sort of an experience with the church, and me coming in saying, oh, hey, I'm a pastor. For whatever reason, it induces shame, not an openness. I don't know how many girls I have sat with at a crisis response or across a bed when we do undercover operations, and that's how it works. We're in a hotel room. That have looked at me and said, man, I'd be praying for someone like you to walk in the door. Excuse me? You're praying for me? No, that's not how it works. I'm praying for you. No. Stuck in an unimaginable situation that maybe they made a risky decision that got them there. But has anybody ever made a bad decision in this room, or are we all like fabulous decision makers? You guys look like fabulous decision makers. I mean, you came tonight. What if one of our risky decisions, our bad decisions, led to a circumstance that we couldn't get out? And there was a whole room of people that knew the way out, but they never came and told us. What if we were a people that said, hey, we have a program for that, it's called compassionate ministry? Or what if we just said, hey, I see where you're at. I see where you're at. I don't really know what to tell you to do, but do you want to go get something to eat? Can I take you to coffee? Can I just live life with you? It might be a little scary on the first. Again, we're not daters, but the first night that you meet somebody, it might be a little scary to say, hey, can I live life with you? Or, hey, can I disciple you? Like, that's a little scary. But what if we saw beyond? And again, I'm a district NMI president. I'm a missionary. Like, give to the world evangelism fund, support missions. Had I never gone to El Salvador, I think I'm pretty fabulous. But had I never gone to El Salvador, to Haiti, or to Dominica, do I think I would have the great privilege of rescue help? No, I don't think so. I don't think I would have had eyes to see it. I don't think I would have had a heart that was compelled and moved to step into the really dark places. You just never know how God's going to interrupt your life and put someone in front of you. So early 1900s, 1904, 1908, there was a home called the Baraka Home for Erring and Wayward Girls in Arlington, Texas. A couple named JT and Maggie Mae Upchurch had been pastoring in Waco, Texas. They were with a denomination. They were bringing in unwed mothers. In the early 1900s, it was scandalous to be an unwed mother. And their denominational leader went to them and just said, hey, you're making us look bad. Those are not the type of women we want in our church. So they up and moved and got a loan from the father-in-law. And they bought 35 acres in Arlington, Texas. And they opened the Baraka Home for Erring and Wayward Girls. Very, very early on, a young woman by the name of Pearl Simmons came in. She had been sexually abused. She was a woman in prostitution. She came in. They fed her. They lived life with her. They taught her about Jesus. She was saved. She was set free. and she was redeemed. And they sent her to India as a Nazarene missionary. It was before we were even, did you guys know we had missionaries on the field before we were even a denomination? Because the greatest thing about the Nazarene church is there was already a move of God prior to 1908. God was working on the East Coast and the West Coast and in the South when he brought us together as a denomination that was born out of unity. We were in the urban centers. We were in those places. And we had the idea and the belief that someone could be completely saved, set free, redeemed, and preach the gospel. They sent her to India, where she taught at a school, and she was actually the first missionary to die on the field. About a mile down the road from her school was a couple, little kids, India. I don't know if you guys have been following the news on the new election in India, but Christianity is not their religion. But it was a Christian school. These little kids got saved, grew up, got married, had children, had grandchildren. Well, the Baraka home for Arian and Wayward Girls, the original property is now a University of Texas, Arlington. You guys, UTA? There are 7,000 Indian students at UTA. That is where Pearl Simmons got saved. Left from there, went out to India. Now we have 7,000 Indian students. I'm like, what in the world did the woman pray? Because our prayers have no expiration date. So what in the world did this woman pray? Well, along comes a couple from India to Kansas City for seminary and then to the West Texas district. An Indian couple who is ministering to those 7,000 Indian students. Well, they are the grandchildren from the school that Pearl Simmons taught at. That is the beauty of Nazarene missions. That's the stories that God does. So tomorrow, I am very excited to be able to share more. My husband always tells me, like, can you not be such a bummer when you get up there? And I'm so sorry. I have such a heavy subject to talk about. I don't know. I just believe there's hope beyond in this room. As I look at each of you, you are the first line of defense. When we talk about human trafficking, when we talk about sex trafficking, and I realize most of the girls have a background with church. I think about who we welcome in to our buildings, who you meet in your workplace. Put me out of a job. Prevention, if it never happened, if Tiffany and I never had a job, like we'd be out of a job, we would find something else to do, trust me. We would much rather see it never happen because someone had somebody safe in their life, because you were a safe community to them, than to ever have a job. I just think there's great hope in this room. I just think the USA-Canada region is a mission field too. I mean, I think that's been declared for a while. But we are becoming, in the USA-Canada, a more isolated people. We are becoming a fearful people. Everywhere we look, everywhere we turn, is negative news. Negative news. Let's just turn it off. And say, Lord, show me the person in front of me. Completely interrupt my life. Because it's an interruption. Just saying. Because recovery is a journey. So would it be okay if I prayed over your district? You guys okay if I pray over you? You're not anti-prayer or anything? Anti-dating, but not anti-prayer. Got it. Let me pray. Lord, we just, God, I'm honored to sit in this room tonight. And God, I just want literally to speak your name over this room. I pray, God, that within us right now you would stir new compassionate ministries, new ways to reach out. And maybe they're not new at all, but we just didn't see them before. God, would we not get caught up and trip over things that we don't think look as they should? Would we not judge someone's circumstances? But would we be the people that step out and are willing to live life, willing to take a ride, willing to just be a line of defense in someone's life? God, I speak blessings and blessings and blessings over this district, over their leader, Pastor Tim, over the NMI leader, God, over their district superintendent. God, would you give them dreams? Would you give them vision? And would you come and just do a mighty thing here, God? In your name, amen.
I think we need to add to your intro and your bio stuff. She's a meddler, right? She kind of meddled in our business. But I pray that we will have that holy discontent if God is asking us to do something. Thank you for your generosity. We have received $2,101 for mission team scholarships, and that's available to continue giving to. I believe that God's not done with that. So if you're praying about it and God asks you to give more, just slip it to Sherry. But that's going to be some help for some people to go on our next trip. So tomorrow morning we start at 8:30. We only have one ballot, but we are going to do that on our phones or with whatever device that we have with us. And there's a collective, because we've never done it that way before, but we're going to be okay. And actually, Brady is just using us as guinea pigs to make sure it works for Wednesday. So if you've not downloaded the app, if you've not taken care of everything, please make sure and have that done by 8:30 in the morning. We'll have a test ballot early on. Make sure that everything's working, and then we'll have our ballot tomorrow on your device. So it's going to be a great time together. 8:30 in the morning. You are dismissed.